What's going on, guys? It's your boy Scrub here, back again with another video. Hope you guys are having a great day. I know I am. Today I've got a story time that was sent in to me about a furry that just went nuts and started roasting a teacher in class. I thought it was pretty funny, so I thought I would share it with you guys. Before we get into it, no, I'm not trying to go to war with the furries, alright? There can be like this particular person that was cringe without everyone being cringe, you know? I don't know, man. I don't want to go with the furries. They scare me. They're going to be like outside my house in their suits, and that's the last thing I want. This particular person was crazy cringe, though. So, yeah, before we get into it, be sure to press the like button. Otherwise, no joke, no scam. You'll have bad luck for 2 years. And without further ado, let's hop right into it. Oh, and here's the comment of the day. See, I didn't forget. I won't forget. Alright, so this particular guy was a self-proclaimed furry, and as I said, if you want to do what you want to do and not hurt anybody, it's nobody's business. Who cares, right? But this guy started trying to, like, overwhelmingly push it on everybody, saying that everyone should be a furry, and one weird thing he was very adamant about was that every single classroom should have a litter box because, no, I'm not making this up, he did not like going to the bathroom because apparently it was something with like being a furry or whatever. So he just wanted the ability to go to the bathroom in a classroom in a litter box instead, which is just a very unhygienic, dude. You can't just have human waste sitting in the corner. And on top of that, how would that work in a classroom? How would anyone focus? That's what I was going for there. Like, imagine you're just trying to do your math homework and some guy hops up, goes to the corner and starts literally using the litter box like a bathroom. I don't think that would go down very well. And could you imagine the smell? What are you going to be over there using the litter box? Hey, don't mind me, guys. Just get back to learning, all right? I'm just trying to use the bathroom. Like, good luck. No one's going to be able to focus. Whatever, though. They made this entire PowerPoint and presentation about how the school should allow people to bring litter boxes into classrooms and use them as a bathroom. I guess the school couldn't really stop you if you just felt like carrying around a litter box all day, but something about using it is what makes it really cross the line. Like, it would still be bizarre to want to carry a litter box around all day. But whatever, to each their own. The second you're like, hey, can I plop it in the corner and use it? It's like, no, absolutely not. So, whatever, the school didn't really care that they had this presentation and all these ideas. They were not gonna let someone bring in a litter box and use it. And this guy was not going to give up. In his mind, he was basically fighting for freedom. You know, this was his own little revolutionary war, and he kept trying to sneak it into school. And there's no way to stealthily, have a litter box. I don't even have a cat. I don't really even know what a litter box looks like. Oh my gosh, I'm having trouble speaking. Looks like, goodness gracious. But I don't even know what those things look like, but I'm assuming it's not something you can toss in your coat and just carry wherever you want. I'm going to assume that it's a little box with sand in it, which does not sound easy to sneak around with. And obviously, every time he would try to, get one over on everybody and secretly have his litter box, the teachers would realize pretty quickly and be like, dude, you can't have the litter box here. Stop it. And he had done it so many times that this one teacher had no patience left at this point, and it was like a Friday, so he sees the litter box and he's just not in the mood. And so he looks at the guy and says, how many times do we have to have this discussion? You can't have that litter box in here. You have to take it out of the classroom. And I'm not saying that that was the nicest way to go about it, but you gotta keep in mind, he's been trying to tell this kid not to poop in the corner in the sandbox for the entire year so far, and every day he's still, for some reason, trying to bring in this litter box and go in the corner. You'd probably be annoyed too. But the furry, instead of replying in English or anything that makes sense, turns around and drops into what can only be described as a defensive position, ready for combat at a moment's notice, getting ready to deflect a punch if necessary. It was just so funny the way they dropped into the stance, almost like a big jungle cat about to be on the pounce. Prounce even a word? Pounce? I don't even know, bro. English is not working with me today for some reason. Press the like button if you're enjoying my struggle. Either way, he decides to insult the teacher and says, just let me put my bathroom in here, you stupid old man loser, which has to be the weakest insult of all time. Like, if you're gonna come and bring the heat and start flaming people, then you better come with some solid insults. Stupid old man loser is not what I would call a very good insult, you know. It's something that might have been hip and cool in the 1950s, but we're a little past that now. And so the lame insult doesn't do much to the teacher. It doesn't make him be like, oh, you're right, go poop in the corner. No, his class is not a bathroom. That's literally what he says to the guy. And the furry's response is to be like, well, it should be because this class is so crappy. You suck as a teacher. Which is almost so funny at attempting to be insulting that you can't even get mad. Like, yeah, of course, he's attempting to call this guy a horrible teacher. But imagine someone saying they should be allowed to poop in the corner because your class is so crappy, bro. Like, how do you take this seriously? So the teacher, of course, laughs because how could you not at that situation? But that just makes him angrier, and he's like, stop laughing at me. And in order to get people to stop laughing at him, in his mind goes, oh, this'll really get him intimidated, and starts just growling at them. And that, of course, makes the teacher and now the other students laugh even harder, because imagine someone holding a litter box that they're asking to use, being like, stay away from me, and like showing their teeth like they're gonna bite you, like some type of angry rabid squirrel. But they keep yelling that, like, it's not funny, this is why you have an ugly wife. I'm not really sure how those are connected, but the teacher kind of stops laughing at that and says, all right, that's too far. There's no reason to talk about my wife like that. Which, if you're a teacher, is probably the worst approach. If for some reason there's some teachers watching this, you never tell the students that are trying to roast you that they struck a nerve, like, hey man, don't talk about that. That hurt my feelings. They're already flaming you. You really think they're gonna draw the line and be like, you're right, you said that might upset you, so I will not cross that line. No, they're gonna use it even more. And so, of course, the furry, realizing that this is something that this guy doesn't want to hear, just keeps going in on him, being like, your wife is worse than a litter box. I'm not even sure what that means, but the teacher didn't really want to listen to it anymore, so he goes, go ahead and take your litter box up to the principal's office and explain how you feel. And all of a sudden, his entire demeanor changes. He's like, no, not the principal's office, don't make me go up there. And the teacher can't help but be curious and be like, why don't you want to go to the principal's office if I'm the worst? Because apparently, this is not the only class that he gets in trouble for trying to sneak the litter box into, and every time he gets sent to the principal's office, they confiscate it and don't give it back till his parents come in. And his mom said she was not going to come get his litter box again because she thought it was dumb. So he's like, no, don't send it, they won't give my litter box back. And he's like, well, you keep insulting my wife, so I don't really care, you just have to go. I also love that there might be a collection of litter boxes up in the principal's office, you know? They're like, oh, I wish his parents would come pick these up. A few of them are used. They're just sitting there up in the office. That can't smell very good, a litter box collection. Either way, he realizes that there's not going to be an easy way for him to escape going to the principal's office, so he jumps up, because he had kind of gone down into like that kneeling defensive position, grabs the litter box and starts running to the door and goes, one day I will pee in this class, and then opens the door and runs out. Which, hey, I'm all for setting a goal, all for having something to like work towards and strive towards, but peeing in a class is a super weird goal, especially in a litter box. Like, that's your life's mission, you know? It's not, I'm gonna become a lawyer and help blah, 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 or like, you know, I'm gonna become the president. You're just like, I'm gonna pee in the litter box. Like, that's really it? That's all you want in life? I mean, good for you. It's obtainable, I guess. I just don't really get it. But he runs out into the hallway almost like a Arkham Asylum villain, just running out to be crazy somewhere else, and the teacher just doesn't really want to chase him down or anything and is like, all right, guys, let's get back to learning. And after that, I don't know where he went with his litter box, but he didn't bring it to class anymore. I feel like what probably happened is he was running around with it. Another teacher saw him and was like, what are you doing? It got confiscated, and his parents were like, we're not going to get your litter box, dude. You gotta knock it off. But I don't know, I just thought that was funny. I don't know if this is like common these days, but are people really asking to put in litter boxes places so they can use the bathroom? That's kind of crazy, bro. I don't want to watch someone poop. Can we just be in agreement on that? Alright guys, on screen now is a gift card. For those of you that don't know, I give one of these away in every video as a way to say thank you to you guys for subscribing and turning on those notifications. So if you haven't already, subscribe, turn on the noties. If you already got them on, then you're an absolute legend, and let's get to the next story time. Alright, so this story time was sent in to me by a guy named Sam, and Sam worked at a burrito place. You might have heard of it. It's like one of the burrito places, Chipotle, and instead of hating it, he says it really wasn't that bad. Most of the time went by pretty quickly. Most of the customers were pretty chill. And one day, this guy comes in and everything's going normal. Literally nothing stand out about it, like he would have just forgotten it like any other customer, except halfway through, he hears a meow. And because he works in like a food place, he's not used to hearing animal noises, so he looks up and kind of starts scanning around to be like, where did that come from? That was kind of weird. And it was a very realistic meow. Like, he genuinely thought it was a cat, and he has some at home, so it's not like he doesn't know what it sounds like. And the guy who had been really nice to him up to this point and normal, when he like scans over and makes eye contact with him, shows his teeth to Sam and hisses at him like a literally like an angry cat or something. And he's kind of taken aback, so he leans back the way you do when you're surprised and goes, did I do something wrong? I don't know, I would have assumed I did something like insanely wrong too if somebody just started hissing at me like a snake that's about to strike. And the guy puts his hand down almost like an anime power pose and is like, you should never look a cat in the eyes. Alright, well, I didn't realize that I was dealing with a feline. I thought you were a human ordering a burrito. May I say, this is a very impressive human costume. You look just like a human. And so him not wanting to get in an argument with this dude that's clearly not crazy, but not in his right state of mind. Probably crazy, let's be honest. He's literally hissing at people and saying he's a cat. He tries to just move on and like push the conversation back to what's important, which is the food in front of him, and says, do you want queso? Just really trying to get back to it. Not gonna apologize because it was accidental eye contact. He didn't think the guy was a cat. But the furry just does not want to drop it. He is bent on still talking about what just happens, and Sam wants nothing more than to just finish this order and go their separate ways. Like, he does not want to be dealing with this any longer than he absolutely has to. But the furry just starts asking him, how dare you look me in the eyes? Why would you do that? Like, what is wrong with you? Why? Why would you do that? And he's just not responding, but he keeps asking. And so finally, Sam stops making his food, looks up at him, and says, can I please just make you your burrito? Like, literally says that, which is probably not what they're trained to do in these situations, but the guy is just going off about something he doesn't understand. He didn't mean to be rude. Just let him make you this burrito, and you guys can go your separate ways, and everybody wins. Like, he's trying to stay silent and avoid these questions for a reason. He does not want to answer them, so just let me make the food. But the furry is not okay with that and goes, no, and hisses again. And so Sam, not knowing what to do, but tired of being hissed at and threatened, just turns around and walks away. Him and his manager were like pretty cool, so he knew he wasn't going to get in a ton of trouble, especially if he explained it. But as he's halfway to the back door, he feels something kind of slap into his back, like this wet, hot, just disgusting thing, and it kind of smelled like the dude's breath. Like the furry guy's breath was not very good, but whatever. He feels something smack into his back, and he turns around and he sees like the half-finished burrito, and he feels, like burrito residue, like the juices and whatnot on his back. And he realizes that Mr. Furry Guy had reached over the counter because he was pissed off that Sam was walking away and thrown the burrito at him to really teach him a lesson. Yeah, because that's for sure going to make him respect not looking you in the eyes, throwing a burrito at him. If anything, I feel like I would go out of my way to look you in the eyes after you throw a burrito at me just if I knew it would bug you. So whatever, he really can't believe that the guy had thrown his burrito at him, so he looks at him and says, dude, what is wrong with you? And him, thinking he's about to get in trouble, starts to run to the door like he just committed armed robbery or something. And this location happened to be like an older building that had been retrofitted to have the store in it. And so most places, you like have the doors that you push out to leave. But because this building was just already there, it happened to have pull doors out. So he is running to the door thinking that he's about to make the escape of a lifetime, not really thinking about the fact this is an old building. And when he goes to push the door open to run out, the door doesn't open and he just smacks into it and falls down. And he's going pretty quick. He was trying to make a getaway, so it's like a freight train just smacking into a wall. Like, that's the amount of force that it goes in. And he falls over and he does not meow in pain. I guess that is not his natural reaction to that. But everybody starts laughing because, like, how could you not laugh at that? And he gets up and hisses at the restaurant, just a very general hiss, and then opens the door and leaves. And then he looks down and sees this burrito on the ground, and that's what really made him most sad, is the fact that a burrito had to get wasted in all of this. I don't really get his play there. All right, I'm going to throw this burrito at the worker, and somehow it's going to make them give me food and not kick me out. Also, if you're going to try to make an escape, the least you could do is know how the door opens, bro. Like, adding insult to injury. It's already embarrassing that you threw a burrito and are making an escape. But extra insult to injury for smacking into the door and making everyone in the restaurant aware that you're an idiot trying to run out without paying for a burrito and then tossing it at the worker. Some people I feel like are just rolling around looking for trouble. Like, I feel like this guy was looking for a fight. He walked into that Chipotle. I'm getting in a fight with the worker today. It's gonna happen. I've got to have some content to talk about on my TikTok. Either way, glad Sam survived the burrito hit, soldier. You're an absolute legend. Good job out there. All right, before we get into the last story of the day, if you're enjoying them so far, be sure to press the like button, but let's go. So this happened to a friend of mine who, I'm not going to use his real name for the story, we'll call him Logan, and he was out walking his dog, and he has a golden retriever, and it's a very cute dog, a very sweet dog, a very nice dog, and this guy comes up to pet the dog. Man, can I say dog anymore? Which wasn't crazy uncommon. Like I said, it was a pretty cute puppy. So the guy starts petting the dog and talking to it, and obviously it's kind of weird to talk to a stranger's dog, but people have that way of talking to dogs. Everyone knows what I'm talking about. Like, oh, cute puppy, like the dog voice thing. The only problem was this guy starts talking to the dog a little too seriously, like a little too much like a human, you know, kind of waiting for it to talk back and asking it serious questions and acting like it's replying. And so Logan is standing there kind of getting weirded out because he's not really sure why this guy is sitting there acting like he's having a 60 minutes interview with a dog that's not responding at all. And so finally, the guy looks up at him. Keep in mind, my friend Logan owns the dog and is like, hey, your dog needs to come with me. And my friend laughs, thinking he's joking, but then he realizes that this guy's not laughing. He's being serious. And he's like, yeah, I'm not going to give you my dog. And the guy starts arguing with him, saying that they were just talking, and what they were talking about was that this dog's just really not happy with him as an owner, and it wants to come with him, so they can just make this easy and give him the dog now, and there won't be any problems. And my friend is like, yeah, well, that's not gonna happen. And he keeps walking away, but he keeps looking over his shoulder, and the guy's like following him. And now he's getting really uncomfortable because the guy had said either give me the dog or we're not going to have problems. And my friend doesn't want problems, but my friend's also not a very small guy, so he's not the type of person that you would probably want problems with either. But if this guy's crazy enough to think he's out here really doing like a Dr. Dolittle things, then who knows what he's capable of. And so as he keeps getting followed, my friend finally decides to turn around and is like, you need to stop following me or we're gonna have a problem. And the guy screams out, I'm not following you. I'm just trying to set your dog free. Why won't you listen to what it's saying? Can't you hear it? And the dog is just not making any noise. Like, it's not whimpering, it's not making noises. If anything, it's starting to get freaked out by the stranger that's coming over and screaming at it. And it's like, let's go, to the guy it's lived with its entire life. I don't know. I feel like dogs prefer people that have raised them and been around them forever versus absolute strangers. But the guy keeps going off about how he needs to set his dog free. And my friend says, you really need to leave me alone. Except this time when he says it, it might have been with a little bit of you need to leave me alone, otherwise I'm gonna make you leave me alone type of vibe to it. And so this crazy guy who's been talking to the dog realizes that my friend's not messing around, and if he wants to keep all his teeth, he should probably move on. So he says, fine, I'm gonna move on, but I just want you to know that I'm not happy about it, which, believe it or not, my friend didn't care about. He doesn't owe it to this stranger to make him happy with every decision. I'm not happy with your choices. Well, they're not your choices, so I can sleep pretty fine at night knowing that, I have nothing to do with that. Plus, what do you expect him to do? Oh, goodness gracious, you're not happy with me? Here, take my dog. But the guy walked away, and after that, my friend just didn't really feel like staying there. He felt pretty sketched out. So he took his dog, went back to the car, and they got out of there. And so he started looking up that park, and a bunch of other people had apparently had a run-in with a guy who claimed to be able to talk to their dog and said that he needed to take it home. So whatever. Apparently somewhere out there is just some dog psychic trying to convince people to hand over their pet for some reason. I would never give anyone my dog, bro. Like, if that ever works, then the person you scammed is just an idiot. Anyways, guys, I think that's going to do it for the video. Hopefully you enjoyed. If you did, I'd really appreciate y'all taking a second to press the like button. Let me know what you thought in the comments section down below. And of course, subscribe if you're new. Turn on those notifications. I do post these in podcast form on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, wherever you watch your podcast. Just look up Scrubs. You should be able to find it, but I have a link to the Spotify down below. And on top of that, if you really want to help me out, you can check out the Karen Christmas sweater. I'll put the link in the pinned comment down below, but it's the perfect gift for the Christmas season. Anyways, guys, last thing I'm going to plug, 12 Days of Scrubs is quickly approaching, so get ready for that. And yeah, on that note, that'll really do it. Don't get anyone pregnant. If you do, make sure they're hot, and hopefully I'll see each and every single one of you guys next time. I'm out. Peace.